So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the Christmas Eve Watch Market Update, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Christmas Eve Watch Market Update. I want you guys to know something, ladies and gentlemen. I'm all dressed up because today we have us Latin people, los Latino, we have Noche Buena. It's called Noche Buena, Noche Buena, good night, it means good night, in Castellano, in Latino, good night, Noche Buena. So, we are, gracias, manito, gracias. Igualmente para ti, tu familia, los seres queridos que tienes por el mundo entero. If you guys didn't know what I say, you Google it, So we're going to be celebrating today, Noche Buena. All right, guys? Our family, we're going to get together, my grandchildren, the wife, my children, people, family people, But anyway, guys, I had to do this. I told my wife I need to do this because it is the last day before Christmas Day, which is tomorrow. Today is Christmas Eve. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public service watch announcement channel. We try to bring you here only the truth and what we hear, and what we believe, Believable, this beautiful, bow tie that my wife got me, it's kind of, it's for the winter one, it's I don't know how do you call that, tiene peluche, peluche, so how do you call that? It's not corduroy, but it's something else. Somebody help me out with the word, but anyway, we have an incredible watch market update for you guys prepared, ladies and gentlemen, and I really mean that. We are going to talk about, various different topics. We're going to try to cover this real quick so we can continue. No more pigs this Christmas. Velvet. This is what this is. Velvet. Muchas gracias, papá. This is velvet. This is exactly what that gentleman just finished telling me. Mr. Premium, Mr. Premium, this is velvet, velvet, so gotta look good, They want me to look good, I'm gonna look good, But anyway, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because the channel, again, is moving up again. It's moving up. It's making some kind of noise out there. It's making kind of noise. I think they're opening up and, letting you people receive, from my TV antenna, If something happens today, ladies and gentlemen, I try my best. I'm doing this because you guys need to hear all this information that Sweet Kid Kino has prepared for you guys. Sweet Kid Kino today, he's ready because he's going to party tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, no more pigs this Christmas. No more pigs this Christmas. That's all I got to say. No quiero más lechón, Kino. No quiero más lechón. El lechón me tiene loco, No more pigs this Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about something that you guys all need to know about. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics in this, show, We're going to be talking about precious metal materials, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, open your eyes, open your minds, and let people that know tell you things. Not me and Sweet Kick, other people that you guys know, listen to them because this is going all the way to the moon, no matter which one it is. This is like a super trifecta that we have here, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to start talking to you about rhodium, the troy ounce of rhodium. Rhodium is what people, what those people they try to get from under your car, the catalytic converter, the catalytic converter. ¿Cómo se llama lo que los ladrones roban, Kino? They go under the car and they try to take out a big piece and they get a little piece and, and they sell it for big money. And ladies and gentlemen, rhodium today is at $8,200 a troy ounce and going all the way to the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, palladium. Palladium is another precious metal that you guys need to be, on the lookout. It's at $1,750 a troy ounce. And ladies and gentlemen, when I told you this, it's so you understand the intelligence that Sweet Kid Kino has. Because you have to give where props are due, props are due. Sweet Kid Kino told you about platinum. I'm telling you, probably in the first week of December 2025. And he spoke to you about platinum, and it was at one moment, it was at $1,750 $600 when he told you, look out for platinum, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see in a matter of a couple of weeks what platinum is at today. It was at $1,600 a troy ounce. Platinum is going all the way to the moon, all the way to, to the moon. We're not going to use the other planet because we're saving it for silver and gold. But he's going there too. He's going over there. He's gonna go like in a convoy over there. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, you're not gonna believe this, but platinum is at $2,290 a troy ounce. Don't fall asleep on this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not no financial advisor. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm not telling you to sell it. I'm just telling you where it's at, and it's getting scary. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this, but gold, pure gold, ladies and gentlemen, pure gold. This is for you, Dr. E. This is for you, Dr. E. Listen up. This is for you, Dr. E. Ladies and gentlemen, where the numbers they're talking about where gold is going, I'm embarrassed to even say it because, these people that have been predicting about gold, son unos lambones, son unos lambones. And ladies and gentlemen, gold at this moment and going up is at $4,520 a troy ounce. I mean, you do whatever you want with your money. You do whatever you want. But ladies and gentlemen, the sleeper, the white stuff, the sleeper with the white stuff, the people didn't believe me when I was telling you it was at, when I started telling you guys about silver, it was probably at $16, $16 a troy ounce of silver, ladies and gentlemen. Yo estoy contento and I'm happy because I'm festive. I'm dressed up with this beautiful, monkey suit that my wife got me, red, for the holidays with a velvet. Somebody show me the word velvet, bow tie, because no more pigs this Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Merry Christmas para ti también, papá. Merry Christmas. Un abrazo y un cariño. Merry Christmas para ti también. 30 West. Merry Christmas para todos ustedes. I said in Spanish, Merry Christmas to all of you. Lots of love to all of you, papá. Hug your children, hug your wife, hug your mother, your father, brother, sister, the guy that's in the corner, then he needs a hug, you hug him, Don't feel bad about that. I hug people that I don't even know on the street. You don't believe me, but it's true, ladies and gentlemen. I hug anybody, it's unbelievable. So please, let's be happy today, And if you haven't seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life with James Stewart, you got to watch it, ladies and gentlemen. He wasn't a praying man, he wasn't a praying man whatsoever. But he told the guy up there, if you're really hearing me, give me the direction. I'm telling you what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. But ladies and gentlemen, silver, papi, silver es una locura. Silver, for you, Dr. E, for you, 30 West, for, whoever is here, all of you, wicked, for you, wicked. Ladies and gentlemen, silver, papi, is scary. It's at $72.56 a troy ounce. The world is upside down. Today, a dollar, you can buy with a dollar a nickel. A dollar buys you today a nickel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it straight. A dollar today buys you a nickel. That's all. No hay dinero por la calle. El mundo está virado al revés. The world is upside down. I'm just telling you, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know something because, the countries, because this word, Dr. E showed me this word. He's stacking up. But the countries that are stockpiling, you know that one now? You know that one, Dr. E? Stockpiling gold. You're not going to believe this, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm going to give it to you today because you need to hear this so you understand cómo está los Estados Unidos, so you can understand how the United States of America is. Deep. United States of America. Wait till you hear this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go from the last one to number one. Does anybody know the countries that are stockpiling gold? Does anybody know? Somebody tell me something. The countries, they're They're stacking up gold, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say, Mr. Damon. You know what I'm trying to say. Hey, what's that green stuff there? I never seen that one, that green one. That's unbelievable, that green one. That one looks good too. It must be festive for the Halloween. I mean, for the Christmas time. You know, unbelievable. I'm excited today, ladies and gentlemen. But ladies and gentlemen, here it goes. Here it goes. We're going to go with, the last one to the first one. The countries that are stockpiling gold. Number 11. This is, number 12. The number 12 country that's stockpiling gold. You're not going to believe it. It's Singapore. Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. Singapore is number 12 on stockpiling gold. Number 11, ladies and gentlemen. Does anybody know what number 11 is? No saben, Kino, si son unos lambones. Son palomos, son lambones, Kino. Number 11, ladies and gentlemen, for your information, countries that are stockpiling in gold, ladies and gentlemen. 24 karat gold, pure gold. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Hungary. Hungary is number 11, ladies and gentlemen. Listen and learn, ladies and gentlemen. Listen and learn. That's number 11. Ladies and gentlemen, number 10. Number 10 in stockpiling gold, ladies and gentlemen, is no other than, the guy over there that he wears I call him the Iron Sheik tunic man, with the white tunic and the hat with the black string around his hat. Qatar. Ladies and gentlemen, Qatar. Unbelievable. It's number 10 in stockpiling gold, ladies and gentlemen. Have you heard the United States of America yet? No, you probably never will hear the United States. You probably will never hear the United States. But here it goes. Number 9. Unbelievable number 9. You're not going to believe this. Number 9 se llama Mexico. Mexico, lambones. Mexico is number 9, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know when you think America's coming. Let me know when you think the United States of America is coming. On this countdown. Number 9 is Mexico. Number 8, ladies and gentlemen. Number 8. Does anybody know? Come on, no sean lambones. Come on. USA is piling anything. Okay. Number 8, ladies and gentlemen, nobody knows, is Thailand. Thailand, papi. Los tailanés. Thailand is number 8. If you don't believe me, you Google it. You Google everything that this man prepares for you people. You own him big. You own Sweet Kid Kino big. What he's done for you guys the last year. For you people, he's been pushed around, smacked around mentally. He's been unbelievable, ladies. They love gold. You know it. You know it, 30 West. Tú eres un hombre inteligente. Tú eres un hombre de visión. You're a man of vision. Thailand, ladies and gentlemen. Here it goes. Dr. E, this is for you so you understand where we're going with this. Number 7. Does anybody know where number 7 is at? Nobody knows. Arabia. Arabia, papa. Arabia is number 7, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. Let me know when you know that the U.S. is coming in. Let me know, guys. Come on. Let me know, papi. Let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, number 6, Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan. I don't even know how to say that name, ladies and gentlemen. Kazakhstan. Help me out, Mr. Damon. Help me out with the word. Help me out with Kazakhstan. I don't know. They're number 6, and stockpiling gold, ladies and gentlemen. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, number 5. Does anybody know what number 5 is? Papi, we're going to the countdown. This is the top 5 now. To number 1 and 2, so you understand what's going on. So you understand. Number 5, nobody knows this, so we'll give it to you. Kino se lo voy a dar ya. Number 5 is Poland. Poland, ladies and gentlemen. Poland, papi, in number 5 position. This is like Formula 1, papi, like Formula 1. 5 position, Poland. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. Does anybody know this is 4? Number 4. USA. Let me know when USA is coming, guys. Let me know. Where do you see USA at? Number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Does anybody? Does anybody know number 4? Does anybody know number 4? Wow, okay, you're right. I'm going to tell you, you're right. Creative experiment, you're right. But give me number 4. You need to give me number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm on fire today with this monkey suit, Christmas Santa Claus suit, Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, number 4 for you guys, it's unbelievable. It's turkey. It is turkey, ladies and gentlemen. Turkey is number 4. Google it. Google it so you say, wow, this Kino is unbelievable what he does. The research that Kino prepares for me, he prepares for me, He says to me this, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to sound a little bit ugly, but it's the truth. You got it, Damon. It's turkey. It's turkey. Kino says when he goes to the bathroom, he takes his pen and pad, and this is when he prepares everything. I don't know what he does in the bathroom. I don't know what he does, but that's when he concentrates. So number 4, is turkey. But now this is the top 3. Who is number 3? Come on, number 3. Who is number 3? Come on, Wicked. Come on, Dr. E. Come on, Damon. Number 3. Come on, 30 West. Come on, Experiment. Come on. Who's number 3? Nobody knows who number 3 is? Well, ladies and gentlemen, here it goes. Bien pa' dentro, papá. Number 3. Number 3. Let me know when you think the USA is coming. Let me know when you think the USA is coming. Papi, estamos en bancarrota. Estamos en bancarrota. Estamos en bancarrota. You know what I said? We're bankruptcy. Number 3, ladies and gentlemen, it has to be number 3. And I don't know how they didn't make it the second, but they made it to number 3. Here it goes. Number 3. For all of you. La India. La India. Hindu. Los hindú. Los hindú. They wear dresses of gold, hats, crowns of gold, camels dressed in gold. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable, but true. India is number 3. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give all 20 of you who are here live today in this Watch Market Update show. If you can tell me who 1 and 2 is, or 2 and 1, I'll be very happy to hear. Go ahead. Who's number 1 and who's number 2? Who's number 1 and who's number 2? Come on. Look at this. 20 organic Watch Channel subscribers and 11 thumbs up. Es que son baratos, brother. Son baratos. Son baratos. Coño! Bravo! Bravo, creative. Papi, we got people that smart here. Papi, when we talk here, we talk the truth. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen. You guys already said it. Number 2. Y que Switzerland. Switzerland no está ni por ningún lado, muchachos. Switzerland son unos lambones. Unos palomos. But ladies and gentlemen, number 2 is China. Number 2 is China, papa. Number 2 is China. 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 Number 2. And ladies and gentlemen, number 1. But Kino was telling me that when he was in the bathroom studying the situation of all these countries who are stockpiling gold, he was studying. He said that that 1-2 position, it has to be 1 and 1. He tells me, Sweet Kid Kino's a very smart man, a smart man. He told me it has to be 1, but they're saying, the so-called experts are saying 1-2. But Kino says it has to be both of them number 1. And I told you China is number 2. And ladies and gentlemen, number 1, ladies and gentlemen, number 1, ladies and gentlemen, is no other than Russia. That's right. Russia is number 1. Number 1, Russia, papi. Russia is number 1. If that guy over there, what's his name? I don't know. I forgot his name. That guy, short guy, JKB, I don't know, Se jodió la música, papi. Se jodió la música. You gotta be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Yeah? Now I got 12. 12 or 12 thumbs up, It's unbelievable. You know what that means? That we have 8 spookers looking at this show. You got it. That guy, Putin. Ese mismo, papi, Putin. Now, ladies and gentlemen, because we give it to you straight in this channel. Russia and China have each, my God, man, added Russia and China, or China and Russia, each of them, listen to this and learn. Each of them have added over 1,800 tons. 1,800 tons. Son unos animales, papi. Tú sabes lo que es que los americanos, you know what it is, that the Americans are nowhere to be found? And Russia and China have added each 1,800 tons. 1,800 tons of gold to their reserve since the year 2000, papi. Since the year 2000, papi. You can't say que nosotros somos la potencia más grande del mundo. We gotta stop saying that we're the biggest power, you know, in the world, papi. No coma mierda. No coma mierda. You know what it is? That each of them, China and Russia, have put more reserve, 1,800 tons of gold, each of them, since the year 2000, papi. And in that list, you Google it. You go, coño, hay que sacarse los mocos y comérselo. Hay que sacarse los mocos y comérselo, papi. Hay que comérselo. That's why they keep on dumbing down on us, papi. Esos países son inteligentes. Esa gente son máster. Son máster allá. Nosotros somos unos cativilla. You know what cativilla means? Cativilla is, you know, when the cow and the horses, you know, they se cagan, tiran la mierda, you know, they're doo-doo, you know, they're shit, you know, and then they fertilize it, you know, fertilize it. Y esta gente son el diablo. Son el diablo. You don't know what I'm trying to say because ustedes son unos lambones, you know. So they have triple, listen to this, they have triple next to the highest country in the world. Papi, tienen todo el oro lo tienen ellos. ¡Oh, oh, 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 oh! Todo el oro lo tienen, papá. Ustedes no me lo quieren creer. But you know what? I gave you that because you know what I'm trying to say, Dr. E. You know what I'm saying? ¿Tú entiendes? Esto está jodido. ¿Qué es lo que escribió Dr. E? I gotta make a drink. I'm telling you, what I give you guys for free, what I give for you guys for free, they can try to entrap me, you know, and take Keno and close them down, but they can't because we just teach. We're not dumb downing on you. We're not dumb downing on you people. We're getting you smart. And then you get embarrassed and you start running because you don't want to get embarrassed, you know. But I'm going to change the conversation to relax you, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we have a situation that most of you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying this because, you know, we're coming to the end of the year. Most of us have been hijacked. We have been hijacked. I repeat, I love to repeat. We have all been hijacked by all these flim-flammers who have, you know, channels on the tube, you know. We have been flim-flammed. We have been hoodwinked. We have been, you know, fleeced, you know, like sandbags, like crumb bums, possum kickers, cow tippers, you know, window lickers, crayon eaters, tomato cans. I can keep on all day, you know, telling you these people, what they did to us, they hijacked our brains, telling us in the tube, you know, in social media platforms and book face and the gram, you know, the picture gram. They've been telling us that the watches were going all the way to the moon, ladies and gentlemen, and all of us were left holding the bag de la desgracia. You know what desgracia means? Desgracia. Gente, they lost everything they had, ladies and gentlemen. They lost everything because all these people on the tube were bombarding you guys every single day. They were bombarding you people every day. Their watches were going to go to the moon. Their watches were a better investment than the stock market. Their watches were a better investment than real estate. Y ustedes como unos lambones, you bought it. And ladies and gentlemen, since this is the #1 watch market update show in the world, we give it to you like it is. We give it to you like it is, ladies and gentlemen. Papi, most of those people that did all those videos convincing your small little peanut brains, they deleted their videos. They deleted all that. You know, all of them that you guys were looking at, they deleted those videos. They took them out of circulation so you guys don't see no more what they told you guys to get you guys this deep. You know, real deep, papi. Jodieron a todo el mundo. So we were hijacked. Our brain was hijacked by all those people. And you have to continue, saying thank you to Sweet Kikino for opening this channel. We have been chosen the #1 watch market update show by no other than Fudinki and also by Goldman. Sachs, Goldman, unbelievable. We've been chosen as the #1 watch market update. No sean pendejo. They're deleting everything, from Deputy Boxing Black Eyes, to the Warris Fat Bastard, to Prune Face over there in the UK. You know who Prune Face is, ladies and gentlemen? Have you ever seen the movie Dick Tracy? From Prune Face, ladies and gentlemen, it's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Papa, you know it. You know what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen. Prune Face. Over there, he's running through the hills. He's running everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. That guy, that's right, 30 West. That guy right there, That guy right there, papi. Papi, la situación está jodida. Christopher, the situation is bad out there, papi. I'm doing this because I need to do this for you people. Prepare your people for 2026. It's going to be real dark moments in 2026. But I'm telling you, all these dirty scoundrels have deleted all those videos. All these so-called, advisors, on what's going on. Están jodido, papi. Están jodido. They had to turn in their red gold fast car, their orange gold fast car, their M&M blue and green, gold fast car. No more steak dinners. No more pigs this Christmas. No more pigs, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, your brains have been hijacked. Your brains have been hijacked, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got to tell you. That's all I got to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something else. Changing the conversation. We have a gentleman by the name of Mr. Buffett Warren. Buffett Warren, unbelievable figure. Guy's worth like around, I don't know, $300 billion. That old man is unbelievable. He gives it away and he gets it back and gets back more. He gives away 80 billion and he gets back 160 billion. The Warren Buffett, and let me tell you, Warren Buffett says, ladies and gentlemen, Warren Buffett says, you're not going to believe this. He sees weakness. Listen to this. He sees weakness in the king of watches. Unbelievable. Warren Buffett says that he sees weakness, in the king of watches in this 2026. Weakness. Warren Buffett, ladies and gentlemen, he says that. And you guys need to hear this. No te meta aquí, no te meta. No te meta. Warren Buffett is a gentleman, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, he belongs to the Bohemian Grove. He belongs, to the owners of the world. And when, that guy Buffett Warren, whatever you call it, Warren Buffett talks, everybody listens. Like, what's the name of that thing, Everybody listens. I forgot. Somebody help me what I'm trying to say. I forgot now, Got too many things in my head, I know what I'm telling you what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. They salute the owl like this. They salute the owl. And then they eat some poop. Right. That's it. H. Hutton. That's right. Like that. They listen. They all sit around E.F. Hutton. They all sit around a round table. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. They all sit around a round table and they take a shot of piss. A piss. And then they take a little slice of poop. And that's it. They belong to that. They all belong to that. We don't belong to that. And this man is saying, the Buffett is saying, that Rolex in 2026 is in a bad position, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you what it is, you know? This is what he says. This is what he says. He says that Rolex doesn't have no transparency. Rolex doesn't have no transparency with none of us, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to say this quick because we don't want to get a thunder lightning when I say this now. Does anybody know what I'm going to say now? Yeah. I'm sure you don't want to be in the club because, you know, ese club es peligroso. You know, that club, they do a lot of crazy things. You go to room 4 and you see something happening. You go to room 11 and you see something. And probably you go to room 17 and you see there Michael Jackson. You know, I'm just telling you the truth. You guys don't want to hear the truth. You guys don't want to hear the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you this, get ready for this. Get ready for this. It's been quiet as long as they have been able to keep it quiet. But you know Ching Jing? You know Ching Jing? Ladies and gentlemen, is coming back again. And he says it, that guy, you know, Buffett Warren says there's no transparency with these people. And that they are talking about that many of those watches over there. Ching Jing. If I say too much, I might get a thunder lightning on my TV antenna and the show might end. You know? And I still have a couple of minutes to go before my wife sends me a text to finish already, you know? We have to go. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that these people belong, you know, to the Bilderbergers. They belong to BlackRock. They belong to the Rothschilds, you know? You understand me? They belong to that, you know? Let me salute them. No problem. I'm telling you what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. You need to get it right. You need to get it right. I'm giving you more information so you know what's going on. Even on the TV, you know, on the TV, you know, the pipe tube, you know, TV pipe tube. You know what I'm trying to say? Even that one too. They're all involved, Papi. They're all in cahoots. They're all in cahoots. Let me, even the guy, you know, that he has a very European voice and he has like a skin, bald-headed hair. You know what I'm trying to say? Gracias, papá. Gracias, manito. You know, that he talks about watches. He's saying that he's saying allegedly. Everything that we're saying here is allegedly. Allegedly. Did you hear me, people out there? Everything that we're saying here is allegedly. You know? You know what I'm trying to say, Doctor. You know what I'm trying to say, Papa. Mr. Donner, Alex. You know what I'm trying to say? Saludo, papá. Un abrazo, un cariño, Alejandro. Alex. Things are not good out there, ladies and gentlemen. And these people, we're never going to be involved in their group, and they're never going to invite us. These people are demons. These people are demonic. You know that guy, Flint, you know, Flint something. I forgot his name, from BlackRock, you know? From BlackRock. These people son una jodienda, papi. Son una jodienda. Esta gente son el diablo. They're demons, demonic. You know? They drink piss and they eat poop. Papi, hay que tener. This is why they look like monsters and demons, demonic. You don't know about this stuff, papi. You don't know about this stuff. But I'm gonna go to something else because the guy with the bald head, that he has an English accent, and he says, you won't believe what he says. You know, he says, that guy, Finky, that guy says, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. That guy says, the guy with the bald head, he's like a trooper, a storm trooper, you know, bald headed guy. He sits down. He has like, you know, fatigue jacket on, you know. He says that basically all the watches that are from Swiss are made over there in Ching Jing. You know, I'm just letting you know, in Ching Jing. I'm telling you what it is, papi. Exactly. I told you this always. Here it is. Skull and bones. That's it, papi. You don't know about this kind of stuff. You don't know about this kind of stuff? And I got to tell you. Let me tell you something else, ladies and gentlemen. I just got to, you know, Warren Buffett, you know, predictions. Warren Buffett's predictions, you know, will crash. Rolex will crash in 2026. That's crazy, you know? I want to say thank you very much for that super chat. Thank you very much, T. Dot Bruno. Thank you very much. Here's a sweetheart for you, and here's a like for you. Unbelievable. These people are cooperating. Kino, están cooperando. Tú sabes, esta gente son gente buena, you know? Ya tenemos 8 cañas. Ya tenemos 8 cañas, papi, para el trago. Thank you very much. You know, thank you, T. Dot. Thank you very much, you know? But I'm going to tell you something else. Ladies and gentlemen, you might say, well, where you guys get all this information? That's none of your business. That's none of your business where I get all my information from. That's none of your business. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. If I wanted to be with these people, I could have been there years ago. Years ago. You might be thinking, how can you get there? You go in there, you know, you become there. You go to the, you know, you go to the lodge. You don't know about this stuff. You go to the lodge in Philadelphia, you know, Benjamin Franklin. You guys don't know about that? One of the most beautiful lounges there is. You go in there and you come out crazy. You come out dizzy. I don't want to tell you no more because I don't want to scare you people, you know? Tú sabes, eso es lo que hay, papá. But I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This holiday season, ladies and gentlemen, something has happened with one of the biggest trifecta carriers, you know, super trifecta carriers, you know, in our country, in the world. I want to start by saying that, ladies and gentlemen, watches have been being lost. We're going to use the word lost, okay? Lost, perdido from FedEx. Watches have been lost from DHL, you know, DHL. Thank you very much, Thurston, for that super chat. De verdad, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for that super chat. And I mean all of you that have given a super chat today. All of you, and to the ones that don't give a super chat, it doesn't matter. You guys are here with me, right? You guys, ustedes son uno de los míos, papi. Son uno de los míos. I'm going to give Thurston an unbelievable little heart here, too, for him, a sweet heart, and, you know, and a thumbs up again, you know. But I want you guys to understand what I was talking about. You know, watches have been lost by DHL, have been lost by FedEx, have been lost by UPS, and you know, I think it's called the United States, you know, Postal. Richard Mille watches have been lost. AP watches have been lost. Rolex, ni hablar. Rolex, they have cleaned the house with Rolex. You know? Rolex have been lost everywhere. You know, Rolex watches. Vacheron, Constantin, there's been a massacre, un massacre. Un massacre was going on. What's going on, I'm not going to tell you where, but it's un massacre. You know, people are losing watches all over the place. Just to let you know, be careful when you are sending, you know, your items out there. Be protected, put some kind of insurance to all this stuff, because, you know, gracias, Thurston Howard, papá. Tú eres uno de los míos, papi. Gracias, de verdad, gracias. But I'm telling all of you this because you guys need to know what's going on. You know, I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. If you guys are sending out packages, man, they're attacking. They're attacking. You know, they're attacking them, and they don't care if you have a tracking number. They don't care if you have this. Papi, se pierde el reloj, man, y para carajo. Eso es lo que hay, you know? Eso es lo que hay. I'm telling you what's going on. I'm giving you all this information because you guys need to hear all this information, ladies and gentlemen. You really do. You honestly need to hear this information. I'm going to go into a watch market update because, you know, I got to get a little faster here. I'm going to give you a watch market update. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get scared with these prices. Use them to your advantage. Don't be lollipop suckers. The watch market is dead. The watch market is dead. Salute Diao. Salute Diao. All of you should, right now, all 26 of you should salute Diao. Salute me. Go ahead. All of you. I want to see all of you saluting Diao. All of you. Show me Diao. Salute Diao. Show me Diao. Show me Diao. And if you don't show me Diao, I won't give you a watch market update. So show me Diao. Atta boy. Show me the owl. Este canal está encojonado, Kino. No me joda, Kino. Dame el trago aquí, dame de la boca. Dame la partida del corazón. My heart is hurting me, ladies and gentlemen. Show me the owl. Yo voy ya. My wife is already calling me already. Unbelievable, that wife of mine, you know. Salute the owl. Best. The best. You can never lose to these people. Even what this guy says, you know, the Buffett Warren guy, you know. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the watch market update. Our first watch, ladies and gentlemen, is a Rolex Titanium. Mr. Christopher, thank you very much for that super chat. I really appreciate that, Papa. Muchísimas gracias. Let me give you a sweetheart, you know, and I like it. I mean a sweetheart in a kind way. I don't mean it, you know. I me gusta la coneja, you know. Unbelievable what I just said. But thank you very much, Christopher, for the super chat, for supporting the channel. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Our first watch is the Rolex Titanium Yachtmaster Black Dial, black ceramic bezel, 42 millimeter, you know, light as a feather. Beautiful looking watch. Gracias, Papa. Thank you, Christopher. This is a 42 millimeter, and the reference number is the 226627. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell all of you, you do yourself a favor. Don't pay for that watch more than $22,000. You do whatever you want, Papa. This is the #1 watch market update show in the world. Papi, don't pay for that watch more than $22,500. I'm going to tell you guys a story. A quick story. You know, a gentleman called me up, and he told me that he was looking for a Richard Mille watch. We're going to keep his name out of here and everything. And he called me up, and we spoke. And I don't know if you guys know this. You know, we have a Richard Mille 6501, which is a sandwich. It has rose gold on the top layer. On the middle, it has jelly, you know, sandwich, jelly, but it's carbon, right, in the middle. And then in the bottom is rose gold. That watch at one moment was over. At one moment in that Corona beer era, I'm going to just say this quick so you understand what's going on. It was over $700,000. And it went down to 300 and change. And today you can buy that watch, that 6501 sandwich. I'm sure that this gentleman is listening to me right now. You can buy that watch for $254, $253, right? It was $700,000. But that same model, maybe people, some of you are going to understand this. That same model, there is a 6501, which is completely rose gold. And what I mean rose gold, even the pushers of the chrono are rose gold. Does anybody know about that? Just tell me yes or no so I can continue. Tell me no and I'll continue. Does anybody know about that? The 6501 has a sandwich and it has a solid, it's a monster. It weighs like a beast. Okay, no. That watch is not a limited edition. Oh, you know it. There you go, Mr. Donut. Bravo, Papa. Bravo. Bravo, Papa. Bravo. Bravo, Mr. Donut. That watch, there you go. Christopher, who's this, Christopher? No, this is, yeah, Christopher. He didn't know either. I thought Christopher knew about this. So that 6501 has the sandwich, rose gold, carbon, rose gold. And then they have the 6501 solid rose gold with the pushers, the chrono pushers, the side pushers, and yet in rose gold. And ladies and gentlemen, that watch is not a limited edition, but that watch is a limited production. That's a limited production watch. Limited. The one they sold the shit so out of it was the sandwich one. 6501 sandwich. But the one with the rose gold, that watch, lo grande, the big ones, lo que sabían, they were holding on to that watch. They were holding on to that watch. They were holding on to that watch. And that watch has a retail price right now, $489, and it's going to go to $500. The retail price, and you cannot get that watch. But the person that called me, sir, if you're listening to me, I won't mention your name. I won't say nothing about you, but I'll say this much. I got him the watch. I got him the watch. Me, I got him the watch. Flew in, flew out. I got him the watch. Sir, if you're here, give me a thumbs up if you're here, okay? And don't pay for that watch more than $315,000. Solid rose gold 6501, a beast of a watch. And I'm not a fan of Richard Mille watches, but I am a fan of that model of that watch. Es un monstruo. It's, you know it, Papi. You know I am. Or you know I try to be. I got him the watch, all right? So let's go continue with the next watch market update. You guys are going to flip out when you hear this one. This is a Rolex Land Dweller, stainless steel, you know, with a chicken coop white dial. Chicken coop white dial, 36 millimeter. It's a brick. It's a brick. It's so heavy that Richard Mille 6501 solid rose gold, you won't believe it. Es un bestia, es un plomo. It's heavy, heavy, heavy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Land Dweller, 36 millimeter chicken white coupe dial. Reference number 127234. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to tell you the retail price. Pero tú estás jodido, papi. No hay dinero por la calle. No hay dinero. No hay chavo, papá. No hay dinero. Does anybody know what I'm going to tell you not to pay for that Land Dweller white dial, chicken coop white dial, 36 millimeter? Come on, somebody give me a price. I double dare you. Juan is stupid like that, you're right. Coño, déjalo allá. Who was this over here? Mr. Premium. Papi, Mr. Premium está dañado. Está dañado. Mr. Premium está dañado. Don't pay. Don't pay for that Land Dweller with a chicken coop white dial. 36 millimeter. Reference number, ladies and gentlemen, 127234. Don't pay for it more than $19,600 and dumping. There it is, papá. Dumping again. No sean pendejo. No sean pendejo. No sean pendejo. You got it, Mr. Donut. You got it as well. But it already broke the 20s. Now it's in the teens, 19s. Papi, esto se jodió, papi. Esto se jodió. You guys don't know about this. Papi, it's going to be a disaster now in January. You're going to have fun. Renato, you're going to be able to buy your FP Jordan. You know, your Line Sport. You're going to be able to get the titanium. You know, the 42, not the 44, the 42, papi. Don't listen to 16, 19. So uno come bola. You know what come bola is? You know? You know what I'm trying to say. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an AP. This is for a gentleman that sent me a request on this watch. Listen and learn, but I want you to listen on this watch so you can learn more. This is an AP Royal Oak, 15400 stainless steel, 41 millimeter with a blue dial. Discontinued, collector's choice, collector's dream, all that good stuff, collector's grave. Ladies and gentlemen, remember what I told you, when a watch is naked, no te metas en esa candela. No te metas en esa candela. In this case, this watch that this gentleman wants to buy, he's being quoted $34,500. $34,500. This is what it is, papi. This is, you want to buy this watch, sir? This is the price you need to pay for this watch. Does anybody know what price I'm going to try not to pay for a naked watch? You know, does anybody know? No? Nobody knows? I'm going to give it to you. Don't pay for that watch, naked watch. Don't pay for it more. You do whatever you want, papi. You do, it's just like buying, coño, este tipo está loco. Okay, está bien. It's just like buying a hot car, you know, without no paper. Te jodiste, you know, you know, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose the car. Anyway, don't pay for that watch more. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more than $27,500. Don't pay more than that. Okay? You do whatever you want. You got that, right? Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex yellow gold day crayon green dial. Crayon green dial, yellow gold. Reference number 228238. Ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. You can pay the $56,000 they're asking for the watch. You can pay. But in this channel, This is our price. This is our price. They got their price, but we got our price. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for it more. And I mean, don't pay more for that beautiful yellow gold crayon green. You know, crayon green. You know, when you were in school, crayon green, you know? Don't pay for it more than $51,000. You do whatever you want, Papi. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel Submariner Hawk. You know, the green guy, the Hawk, ladies and gentlemen. This watch at woman was over $35,000. Over $35,000. 40 millimeter, reference number 116610 LV. LV. How much, ladies and gentlemen? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Nobody knows? Well, here it goes. Don't pay for that watch more. Wow, man. Mike, they know 30 West. He's on fire, man. He says 16.9. 16.9. And I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that watch more than $16,700. Well done, 30. Well done, 30 West. Well done. Don't pay more than that. You pay more than that, you're a lollipop sucker. You pay more than that, you're a crumb bum. You know? Papi, el negocio de los relojes está muerto. Dead. Dead. You do whatever you want. Dead. Do whatever you want is dead. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a watch. Here's a Rolex Rose Gold Date. Eisenkaisel. You know the Eisenkaisel? It's a 40 millimeter. You know? Eisenkaisel dial. 40 millimeter. Reference number 228235. Unbelievable watch. Rose Gold. Beautiful dial. Don't pay. I mean, you do whatever you want. You can continue maintaining these flim-flammers lifestyle. I know it's an addiction. I know it's an addiction that you guys have. You know, you guys want to continue, you know, deep. You know, you guys want to, $70,000 and $75,000 it was sold. 54,000, coño, quebrado eres. Quebrado, Mr. Primen, está dañado. Tú estás dañado, ladies and gentlemen. Eisenkaisel. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you guys come to see me. Even the ones that are hiding over there, you know, hiding in the corner, like, hey, this guy's, you know, papi, yo voy a descojonar el negocio de los relojes. El negocio de los relojes está muerto. Muerto. Here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. The Eisenkaisel. 40 millimeter. Don't pay for that watch more. You ready for this? Don't pay for it more. $66,000. Wow. Okay. Mr. Donut, vamos a tener que chequear eso. You got to be careful the way you're looking at that. Don't pay for that watch more than $56,200. Okay? And it is dropping. Papi, it's dropping. You know, we got to say it the way it is. You know? Even though don't pay for it more than, you know what I'm trying to say. You can lower if you want a little more, okay? You can lower a little more. But here's one for you guys. That's going to knock your socks off and blow your hair back. So you understand the green watch dials are a dying breed. Like the blue dials, they became a dying breed. The green dials are becoming a dying breed too now, you know? They're going to have to start inventing a new one now because it's dying out. We're talking about the Rolex yellow gold Jubilee bracelet with a green dial, Sky Dweller, 42 millimeter, ladies and gentlemen. Papi, this thing is dropping, and it's dropping too quick. It's dropping too quick. You got a person that's asking for that watch. I need to sell the watch ASAP in capital letters. I got to get rid of this monster. I got to get rid of it. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be kind to that gentleman because he's being honest. So you got to be kind. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more. If you pay more than that, you are a Palmolive dish liquor. You know what Palmolive is? You know the Palmolive soap that your mother, your grandmother, you know, your wife, your sister uses to wash, you know, the dishes. You become a Palmolive dish liquor. Understand me? Don't pay for that watch, for that Sky Dweller. Jubilee, yellow gold, green dial. Don't pay for it more. And I mean, don't pay for it more than $65,800. And dropping faster than Billy Boy's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. La situación está jodida, papi. No hay dinero, papi. There's no more money, papi. The free government money is over. Guys, didn't you hear that I told you the 12 countries that are stockpiling on gold? You know, that word, you know, stacking up. Dr. Evil showed me that word, you know, because he tells me always he's stacking up. He's stacking up on gold. But these countries, esto es otra cosa. You're talking about trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. And ladies and gentlemen, the PPP loans are gone. The SBA loans are gone. Government grants are gone. Stimulus checks are gone. Protection employment checks are gone. Bobby, there's no more money. In those 12 countries that I told you, the USA doesn't even come out. They don't come out. Only Russia and China son los machos, los bestia, los bestia. That's what I got to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is the Patek Philippe Complications 5960 stainless steel white dial leather strap. Don't pay for that watch. Ready? Don't pay. Bobby, there's no more, Bobby. There's no more. You gotta see those people. The shows they're making now, you got the other guy now, you know, with deputy boxing black eyes with his sidekick, Jiminy Cricket, with the Chia Pet spray can hair and the baseball cap hair, white out jumbo ears. And you can see now that the gentleman is bringing in like 10 Samsonite. You know, you don't believe me? You go see it. 10 Samsonite. That's what Sweet Kid Kino told me. 10 Samsonite of, you know, Luria and Sons service merchandise jewelry, you know? Luria and Sons and service merchandise jewelry, you know? Because, papi, está muerto, papi. They cannot continue maintaining that My Pillow warehouse. The My Pillow warehouse está jodido. That belonged to the guy from My Pillow warehouse. They even have the lights off already in different rooms. Todo mundo se piró, papi. You know what pirado? Se piraron, papi. Paco Gambino would always tell me, when you see a couple of lights off in an office, run to the hills, it's over. And he wasn't wrong. That motherfucker, that little old man knew so much. You know, you would look at him, and I never questioned him, you know, because he didn't scare me, but maybe he wasn't the sharpest tool book-wise, pero de la calle, from the streets, Paco Gambino was a gonorrhea, man. And I mean gonorrhea in a positive way, not in a negative way. That's all I got to say. I'm going to continue on with this because this is too much for you guys, you know? This is too much for you guys. Don't pay for that Patek Philippe Complication 5960 white dial, stainless steel leather strap. Don't pay for that watch more than $39,000. No matter what they tell you, that watch is dead. It's dead in water. Dead. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a Rolex date, platinum, 36 millimeter. 36 millimeter, Bobby, 36 millimeter. Roman dial, you know? You understand me? The Roman dial with that, you know, that Swiss chocolate, you know how you call it? You know, I forgot the name of it. Cup, it's like a little, I don't know, I forgot the name of it. Reese's Pieces, you know, with the Reese's Pieces, you know, bezel, you know? Platinum, 36, ladies and gentlemen. No sean pendejos, Bobby. No sean pendejos. Yo gozo con todos estos pendejos. Para mí todos son unos pendejos todos. Pendejos not a bad thing, you know? Maybe they get, you know, they get a little bit, you know, se acomplejan, you know, they get an inferior complex. Pero son unos pendejos todos, papi. Son unos pendejos. You know, the Reese's Pieces, you know, the bezel, you know? Platinum, 36 millimeter, you know, with the beautiful ice blue dial. You know, beautiful ice blue dial, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. Here it goes. You ready? Don't pay for more than $46,500. You're dead. You're dead. You do whatever you want. You're dead. You're dead. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex Yellow Gold GMT Money Green. Rolex GMT Money Green. You know, in the Corona era, I saw this watch being sold to un lambón for $72,000. $72,000. You know, discontinue. The original green one, you know? 50-year anniversary of that GMT. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful watch. Reference number 116718LN. Discontinued collector's choice. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for more than $33,000 and dropping faster than Billy Boy's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. Watch market is dead in the backyard pool and floating face down like this. He's dead. That's all I got to tell you. That's all I got to tell you. You do whatever you want. Here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. This is an IWC, stainless steel, the Engineer Perpetual Calendar, blue dial. Unbelievable. You know, one of that guys, you know, the guy, the designer, you know, I forgot his name. You know, the guy that made AP, you know, with the Royal Oak. He made the Paddock. You know what I'm saying? The Paddock. You understand what I'm saying? This guy, I forgot his name. You know, I forgot. Gerald Genta. There you go. That guy, you know, Gerald Genta. Monstruo reloj. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch has a retail price of $40,800. This watch is a 2025 brand new watch. A monster watch with that beautiful blue dial. And I'm going to have to tell you the truth. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more. Beautiful engineer. Engineer Perpetual Calendar. Papa, un jodiendo reloj. Un relojazo. I put that watch. Whether you find it funny, that's fine with me. I put it next to a Paddock Nautilus. I put it next to a Royal Oak. All day, every day. Don't pay for that watch more than $24,500. It's what it is, Papi. The watch market is dead in the backyard, septic tank, and smelly. And smelly. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel Explorer, reference number 16. I forgot. You know, the Explorer, you know, the 40 millimeter. I forgot the reference number. 40 millimeter, white dial, polar white dial. Don't pay for that watch. It's used and abused. Don't pay for that watch more than $5,700. You do whatever you want. It's dead. It's dead. You do whatever you want. And ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the final two watches of this Christmas Eve. This Christmas Eve. It is the AP Royal Oak 41 millimeter, reference number 265-840R. The Latin America. 1 of 100. You know? 1 of 100. They only made 100 of these babies right here. And I'm going to tell you they're asking stupid prices for this watch. But a gentleman wanted to hear my price. And here it goes, sir. Don't pay for that watch more. Don't pay for that watch more than $193,000. They're asking for it $217, $225, $230. That's my price. Ladies and gentlemen, before I give you my last watch market update of the evening, I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas Eve today. You know, I'm going to be heading out with the wife. You know, no more pigs this Christmas. No more pigs. We're going to eat some pig and, you know, some rice, you know. Arroz con, you know, frijoles, yuca, platanito maduro, you know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. We're going to be doing that. So I want to wish all of you from the bottom of my heart a very, very happy Christmas Eve to all of you from the bottom of my heart. Be smart out there if you're driving and you're drinking a little bit of coquito, a little bit of liquor. Be very, very careful. From the bottom of my heart, I want to wish all of you a happy Christmas Eve. And ladies and gentlemen, our last watch of the evening, it is the Richard Mille Prototype, number 00, Prototype. It's the Mexico edition. They made 30 pieces around the world. That's it, 30 pieces. They call it the black, you know, it's black casing with a white rubber strap, all that good stuff. And that watch in the Corona beer era was over $490,000. Sir, you want to hear it? This is it. This is the Prototype. It's a monster watch. Monster watch. But don't pay for that watch, for that Prototype number 00 Mexico edition, black, you know, limited edition to 30. Don't pay for it more than $208,000 and dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants. Again, I want to embrace all of you. I want to wish you guys a happy Christmas as well tomorrow, okay? Thank you so much for supporting the channel. All of you you were here. Thank you again for supporting the channel. I hope you guys enjoy this Watch Market Update show today. It's for free. It's all for free. It's all for you guys. Un abrazo, un beso fuerte para todos ustedes. Salud para todos ustedes. Salud. Guys, I haven't been drinking water. I've been drinking liquor. Take care, guys. Take care and brush your hair. Take care. Bye-bye.